Good morning, friends, and welcome. Let's start our class with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great gurus, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Laidi Shaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Guru Deva, Paramhansa Yogananda ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. Receive our love and devotion as we offer ourselves with deep gratitude and longing at thy feet. Bless our class today with thy divine presence. Om Shanti Shanti. We have a beautiful song today, a mystical love song. We'll just play a short part of that. It's called Where Has My Love Gone? It's sung by Swami Kriyananda ji, and then we'll see an excerpt from a video by Swamiji on this topic of delusion.
Where has my love gone? Long are the nights, now that she's left me, deemed my delights. Where is my love friend? Passed she this way? Saw you her smile? Ah, what did she say? Ah, passed she here, my sweetheart, passed she here. Sweet was her promise when first we met. Whispers of heaven made me forget heartaches and labors, earth's searing pain. Rest now, she said, you've found love again. Ah, passed she here, my sweetheart, passed she here.
This is the way reason works. It tries to bring a ridiculous thing. We'll be sinning if we kill our bad side. This is the mind comes up with the most fantastic arguments to keep you bound to delusion and bound to living in the wrong way. Well, I can't get rid of my own greed. After all, it's I who am greedy. It's my nature to be greedy. And if I were to destroy my nature, I would be less myself. I would be less conscious. I wouldn't be holy me. These are the rationales that people play with and offer up to others to live in the wrong way. And you find this everywhere. People who drink but don't smoke, they say, well, it's true I drink, but at least I don't smoke. And people who smoke say, well, yes, I smoke a little bit every now and then, but at least I don't drink. And so they will always somehow try to find a buttress to defend their own delusions. And if they get too angry with other people, well, after all, I'm trying to help them, trying to show them that they're wrong, or whatever other reason or argument they come up with, because the arguments are just legion. You can't stop them. When you When you hear people gossiping unkindly about something, you find them always sort of as if trying to make you think that they're happy, but they're saying that because they know inside that they're not. And every one of these rationales inside it, the soul is just quietly watching and saying, okay, let's see. See when you change. Do you really believe what you're saying? Well, they'll shout the louder to howl down that rationale inside themselves that tells them they're not doing the right thing because they don't want to change themselves. It's too much trouble. It's too difficult. And so Arjuna's tendency to say, oh, and mind you, this is not Arjuna. He's speaking on behalf of you, me, the devotees, those who are trying to find truth. You will see that these faults are in all of us as long as we're working with them and have not yet overcome them. You will express pride. Well, I'm not really proud, I'm just aware. Well, are you pleased with that awareness? There's your problem, not the fact of being aware. A great man, a great master knows he's great, but is he pleased with that? No, he's not. He knows that God is the one who's great. God is the doer. When somebody said to Jesus, good man, Jesus answered, why call ye me good? There is but one who is good, and that is God. Even our goodness is from him. In fact, we are good to the extent that we have removed one of those koshas, or sheaths, that prevent us from being that way. There are three qualities, and we're going into this more deeply later in the Gita. Three qualities that the mixture of all three is what makes this great delusion. The Maya, the Dvaita, the duality, and then the three gunas, or qualities. The darkening quality is that with people who have such a sheath over their mind that they can't think in terms of intelligence. They're only thinking in terms of pleasure of the body, and this is their definition of happiness.
Good morning again, everyone. On this topic of delusion, I'd like to read a true story from one of Master's lectures to start the class. I remember a young pair, this is Master speaking, who attended a class series I gave in Phoenix, Arizona. They were the most beautiful couple I have ever seen, and that sang a lot. The boy then said to me, may I ask for a favor? Please bless me that I find a job. I told him he would find a job right away, and he did. But then I said something else to both of them. Everybody in the class, I said, envies you your love and happiness. Tread the spiritual path very carefully. Delusion awaits you around every corner, hoping to seize you. I don't envy you, for the love in my heart is 100 times greater than what I see expressed in your eyes. I'd like to see you develop toward the experience of an ever deeper divine love. In a year's time, I plan to return to Phoenix. I would like to see if your love is still as strong then as it is now. In coming back, I managed at last to locate the boy. He was working in a store. When he saw me, he came out to the car and stood beside it. He looked worn out. It saddened me to see him like that. His back was bent instead of straight like a yogi's. In a weak voice, he said, I still believe in God. What is the matter with you? I cried. I expected to find you communing with God daily. He answered, I'm working so hard. I hardly have time for anything else. He took me to his home. They'd had a child, and his wife was expecting another one. I missed the luster that I used to see in your eyes. I felt sorry for them, and I gave them a mental and spiritual shaking. As I was leaving, I saw in their eyes again a glimmer of their former love and happiness. They promised me to start meditating again. This is a very strong message from Master. We all think this will never happen to me. I'm strong on the path. I've been here a year now. I've been here 5 years now. Maybe I've been here 10 years now. But it does happen. I've seen people coming, going in Europe, in America, here in India. And I remember when I first went to Ananda as an apprentice, I was in a program there, and I was my early 20s. And I was there enjoying, having a wonderful time. And then delusion just crept right in. And just that fast, I was pulled back into my old life, an unhappy life, battling to get back into my spiritual life. It took 3 long years to get back there. I remember I was living at the meditation retreat. There was another woman in the room we had. Every morning she'd get up. I hate getting up. Don't you hate getting up early? It was like 5 o'clock or 5:30. And that was the wrong affirmation for sure, wrong environment to be with her. She left before I did. But we would have to energize out in the cold. It was freezing, and then I didn't do yoga that well, certainly didn't meditate well. And I thought, what am I doing here? And then we had seva all day long, as I remember. I remember just washing mountains of dishes most days, wondering, why am I here? I have a university degree. I have a strong mind. I have energy. Why am I here? And that voice just got louder and louder and just pulled me right off. It wasn't completely off the path, but quite a bit. I remember I went back home, my old friends, my old place, old everything. And the picture of Master on my wall, a big picture in my meditation space, fell off and cracked. The mala I had broke. I was barely meditating. I just couldn't believe that could happen, but it did happen, and it does happen. And Master said the 3 main delusions are money. Most people go in there, I've got to get a bigger job, a bigger house, a bigger car, a better everything. Money, and then wine or any intoxicants, and sex. But there's a number of other ones. I listed a few here that are constantly pulling wrong attitudes like doubt, pride, race prejudice, laziness, lack of energy, distractions, fillers, insincerity, disloyalty, not wanting to meditate or do the practices, thinking you know it all and you don't need any help. And finally, all the desires and attachments that cling to us. So what happens when delusion is pulling at us? The first thing is it's seeming like it's better than what we have. There's a glow around it. And you're not really getting that far on the path anyway. You probably don't have as much money as you need. And, it's alluring. It was better outside in the world. Those things, it's nice, isn't it? And it just keeps going on and on. And you remember those friends. You had fun with them, didn't you? You enjoyed all the things you had and the money to spend on. Didn't you enjoy that? And it just keeps working on you. And that voice is the voice of really a satanic force. And then the old friends come around and you start doing things, old habits, old ways of thinking, old places you used to go to that you enjoyed so much, old things that you used to do. I remember from the answer, I think it was that film that Swamiji says that he was in the bookstore looking at Autobiography of a Yogi before buying it, Doubleday Duran, and this old friend from college, I believe it was, walked in, and he started saying all the wonderful things he was doing, this man, and oh, he's got this job and he's making this amount of money and he's doing that. And Swamiji says he was just clutching the autobiography closer and closer to his heart because he just didn't want that life anymore. And secondly, what happens is you see people coming and you see people going, and you wonder, well, maybe I should go. As Swamiji said, it was like a hotel at Mount Washington at different times. People checked in, people checked out, or like a revolving door, people walking in, people walking out. And you see people and you kind of get drawn to, I wonder what they're doing. Maybe I should explore that. And then I remember a person who was so involved in the path. And I mean, I used to work sitting next to them in the office there at Ananda Village. And then suddenly they got into delusion. They were gone really fast. And I remember someone else who was said, well, this particular person kept saying, I'll meditate later. I won't meditate now. I'll wait later. They never did meditate. And then they left because they just couldn't hold it. They couldn't hold it together. They couldn't hold their center because they never meditated. Then there was a man who said he never wanted to serve, and he left. There was all kinds of things that just karma that caught people, that pulled them away. The next is improper guidance or not listening. I remember once when Swamiji, I was moving back from Italy, and had been to Africa then as well. I've been away for some years from Ananda Village. And Swamiji said, well, when you come back, you come to my talk. It's going to be near the airport where you land, and I'll see you there. And I thought, oh, gee, I don't know if I can arrange that, and it's going to cost more money, and it's going to change my timing. And I thought, oh, he'll never know, and I'm just not going to do it. Well, Swamiji met me at the airport, and he wasn't pleased. He said, why didn't you come? I told you to come. He was trying to guide me. I needed to come. He didn't need me there. But after that, every time he said, come to something, I was there. I tried to make excuses, which is what people do. I'll do this later. I won't do that. And then I remember a man who, one of my other friends on the path, and I were in Singapore. We were with Jyotishan Deviji, and there was a man there, and he was an astrologer, and he was at the center, and it seemed like, seems a devotee, seems like he knows what he's talking about, but somehow he coerced us to come and get a reading from him. And true astrology is very beneficial. I can't say what this was, but it certainly wasn't for me. So we went there and we listened to him. He talked to me, then he talked to my friend. And what he told me was so shocking, that you won't be living in India. It's not your dharma to be in India. You're going to be going back to America. And this was like 10 years ago. And I told Jyotishan Deviji this. They were so, they said, why would you listen to him? And it was so wrong. And people do. They'll listen to somebody, then they're gone. They go to somebody else's talk, another guru, and suddenly they're with that guru. Then they try to come back if it's possible. I remember someone else who advised me on something, and I was gullible, and I said, oh, okay, I guess that's right. And by the time Swamiji heard, he just yelled, why do you listen to him? He's no saint. And people will. They'll just listen to anybody. Okay, he told me to leave the path and go get a job. And so Swamiji himself said when he had Kriya from Master, of course, and then he had the higher Kriyas and heard that this other disciple of one of our line said there was 10 initiations of the higher Kriyas, and you can get them if you come take Diksha from me. And Swamiji felt, well, I guess it's all right. And And he said, as soon as he took those initiations, a wall came down between him and Master. He just couldn't feel Master's presence. And I think it was 6 months that he practiced those. It was a number of months at least. And then he just said, he just let it go. He stopped doing them. And he said, Master was back right away. So we have to realize, who are you taking advice from? And then another one is the person has no time. They're full of distractions. They say, oh, I've got my job, I've got my family, I've got my vacation coming up, I've got to do this. I've got so many things to take care of, but they don't have any time to meditate. And that's definitely a delusion. When we first came to India, I remember many people said, the young people, not many young people came, but the ones who did said, well, I'll come back later when I'm done with my job. My parents told me to seek God when I'm old. And so I'll get my career done, get married, have the children, whatever. I'll finish my career and make all the money I need, and then I'll seek God. Well, that's a delusion. Master came to say you can seek God while you're in your career. And we think there's so much time that we can do so much. But as soon as your health goes, soon as the attunement goes, soon as your money goes, soon as your friends go, and everything just starts leaving one by one. Because in the scriptures and the Bible, it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God. How many people adhere to that? And all these things will be added. Not seek everything else first. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. And when you do that, Divine Mother's with you, and she helps you with every part of your life. But otherwise, there's one distraction after another, one delusion after another. I love what Swamiji said about distractions, and I have to do this, I have to do that. He said they're all fillers. They fill up your life. And for the devotee, you have to just really work at staying in tune, staying on the path. And I wanted to end with these things to do. I'll just name them off. To keep strong and keep delusion at bay. Keep your sadhana strong. No matter what, just meditate every day. Don't matter. I go to all the centers, and so many people don't even meditate every day. It's just shocking to me. I don't know how people can deal with life without meditation. So no matter what, fight it. But say, I'm going to meditate morning and night. I'm going to do it. I'm going to energize. Be strong in yourself. Be a spiritual warrior and fight off delusion. I remember Swamiji said he had this bad habit, and this is the next one. You have to work at it. You can't just say, okay, it'll go away when it'll go away. He said that at one point, something was bothering him for so long, he just said, I don't want you anymore. Get out. And he just threw it out. And you have to just be strong in yourself and with yourself, and not just sort of let anything and everything happen. Another is to cling to the masters and their protection. Carry the photograph around with you in your wallet, in your car, and keep the mantra going, Om Guru, Om Guru. If things are getting difficult, call on the masters and feel them protecting you. The next, get advice from others longer on the path than you. Don't think you know it all. You don't. People I know have been on the path 50 years still getting advice. So ask those who you respect, who you feel like they know much more than what you know, and take the advice. And next, get a spiritual bodyguard. When you're alone too much, that's when delusion kind of creeps in, because you don't have any peer. There's nobody who you're talking to. You're asking advice if there's nobody around. And so have a spiritual buddy I remember when I was new on the path, I asked someone who'd been decades longer than me on the path. I said, if you ever see me going astray, please, please pull me back onto the path. Promise me that you'll pull me back onto the path. Get somebody who is stronger than you, who will help you when you're going astray. And I said before, but be in the vibration of the gurus. Play our music, read our books, come to the center, come to satsangs, come to kirtans, and really surround yourself with this vibration. And you'll find you'll be much stronger. You'll have a much stronger light and vibration and aura to fight off everything that it's always there trying to pull you away. I'd like to end with this reading from a Hindu way of awakening from Swamiji's book. He says, it is up to us to decide which aspect of cosmic vibration we choose to worship, outwardness and delusion, or inwardness and soul communion with the divine. The outward aspect is Satan. The inward aspect is the Divine Mother. To worship Satan may mean nothing more than to be attached outwardly to the cosmic play. It needn't mean consciously invoking evil. Good and evil are relative terms, but actively to court that force which moves consciously toward violent opposites is to worship what mankind calls evil. It is to serve that force and invite it to use one as an instrument. Worship in the sense of attraction to outwardness, though certainly not Satan worship in the accepted sense, means still to live under the sway of the satanic delusion, a fact that becomes clear only when the soul tries to escape the net. In the lives of saints, we frequently see the great lengths to which Maya goes in trying to prevent their escape. Om Shanti Shanti. I'll ask Natendra to join me now.
Thank you so much, Dhyanaji. We have a few questions. The first one, Dhyanaji, is that as you were saying, if we keep our sadhana strong and if we continue to serve regularly, then can I still fall in delusion?
Karma is strong. We have good karma, we have karma that's not so good. You have to really want to get out of delusion. You can't. I see people playing with delusion. They'll say, I'll try a little, it won't hurt me, but it does hurt you. You open the door, you crack that door open, and delusion just opens it fully. And so don't go near places that you used to go to that, I mean, for example, probably not many people, if any, drink, but if you had a problem with drinking, don't go near a bar. Don't go with your friends out drinking. It's wrong. Things like that. So you have to really want to not go back. Like Swami Shrikeswaraji said, forget the past. It's over. But as you play around with it, you play around with pride. People should look up to me. I'm the teacher. They should touch my feet. They should worship me. Well, this is a huge delusion, but people are still in it. Things like that. You have to really ask Master to cut it. I don't want that. He said that with one of the ministers, some of the ladies thought he was handsome or something, and Master took care of that. He had at a major event, he put a turban on that man's head, and it was falling off from one side to the other, and people saw it as funny. But Master, he'll take care of you. I've seen it. You think you're a good teacher and you get up there and you forget everything. You stumble over your words or something. So it's not a joke. I mean, that force can take you off the path in a moment. I've seen it. I've seen literally hundreds of people come and go, come and go. Mainly go. Once you go, it's hard to come back. And I was blessed that I was strong enough that and open enough, and I loved God enough that I came back. But I don't think I would say a very small percentage of people come back once they go. So let's not take it lightly. This is very serious. And going, what does it mean? Master said God will never let you down as long as you keep trying. So a slip isn't a fall. So you slip back, you just get up and keep going. You get up and keep going. But it's hand-to-hand combat. You've got to look at yourself and say, no, I'm not going there. There are many mental things that I've seen it a lot. I've been in many cultures and I've seen what people go through. I've been through these things myself. But if you keep embracing it, it'll just be there as a nice, warm, close friend. But if you get strong and just say, no, I'm not going there. I need more money. Well, why? And then I need attention. Why? I need someone to recognize. Why? I need to become an acharya. Somebody needs to know. Why? Why? Think about it. Because of your ego. So until you get to the point where you really want out, if you want to come back again as a baby and live that childhood and an adolescent and a teenager with all the hormones popping out, and then you have to get married and have 4 or 5 children and go through your jobs and go through old age again. If you want that, it's there. But the true devotee, I mean, that story of that couple is shocking. Within 1 year, the guy's spine was bent. He wasn't meditating. She has had 2 kids. I mean, hello. That's very amazing. And they met Master. So let's take it seriously. I would say become a spiritual warrior. And as you do, and get to the Sangha. And I would say the thing that helped me the most was serving until I just couldn't serve anymore, just continually just beating everything out through service. Because you can't, if you're serving, you can't just sort of be thinking about, "Oh, I want to leave, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that." Just keep serving. Get to the center, find out what you can do, and hang on to your sadhana like it's the last thread in your life. Once you let go of the sadhana, the consciousness starts going down. And then when consciousness is down, then, I'll just go out and I'll have some wine. I'll just have a little bit. And then you have a sip and then you're back drinking again. No, I'll just go to the party. I remember I was at a wedding, and I'm happy to bless people, but I'm not happy to go to weddings. It's not, I'm a Swami. I'm not going to weddings. I was at one years back here in India. Everybody begs you to go. And I was sitting there and I felt Master saying, "Why are you here? Why? Tell me." I never went back again. It was the wrong environment. So just be careful. This is a cautionary talk. Be careful. Don't think you're strong enough to just evade delusion. And there's drugs, there's drinking, there's all kinds of things just waiting for you out there. Relationships, good ones, bad ones, there's all kinds of things waiting out there for you. And they all are alluring. And then you're in there and you can't get out. Wow. And then you hide. There's a hidden life. I won't tell anybody. But God and Guru sees all. And at a certain point, what I've seen with people, I've seen going in that direction, Divine Mother opens the curtain and shows everybody what you're doing. So you just can't hide. Better to just say, "Master, I have this delusion, I have this fault or whatever, but I don't want it. I want to get out of it. Help me to get out of it." And don't hide it. Just tell him, "I want to get out of it." And then keep yourself strong, and bit by bit, you can escape it. But if you hide, It doesn't work. Hiding this, hiding that, this doesn't work. The truth will be revealed. Are there other questions you have?
Just one last one, Dhyanaji. So, will I be able to find out by myself if I'm falling in delusion? So, how should I continuously keep checking myself?
I think you should check with others. Now, I go to most of the centers. I was at Gurgaon recently, now I'm in Pune, and you should have somebody you talk to. Have a spiritual advisor. Don't just think I mean, the delusion's in you, and you're deluded. So how are you going to see it? So you won't see it. You think you're doing fine, and you're just sliding right down the hill. So I would say get with somebody who can help you. And who doesn't have delusions? Everybody has them, some, unless you're free. So, you have to face those. So you can't really know yourself. You can feel more and more free from something. I'm more free from whatever it was. Like I see things I used to have going on, moodiness or whatever, they're just long gone. But, I had Swamiji there, and then Jyotishan Devi and then other Jayaji, very strong people on the path. I always got advice. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Is this right? Is this wrong? And the part that people get wrong is maybe they ask for the advice, but they don't listen. So many people, I mean, you heard Jyotishan Devi saying people would go talk to Swamiji, get advice, and they leave and they say, you heard what he said? He said this, was totally saying what they wanted him to say when he said something else. So that's a delusion in itself, not listening. And that's a big one. I think that's one of the biggest ones. You just hear what you want to hear. But when you really want to know, get somebody who you respect, who's going to tell you the truth and not baby you. People want to be a baby, like that man, Master called him a baby. Andy said, Master told him in public, this man's my baby. I call him Andy. I call him my baby because I'm babying him. And then he says to the man, you don't mind that. You don't mind. In front of everybody, you don't mind me calling you that, do you? And the man says, no, I don't mind, Master. God, get some strength. I mean, this path is for warriors. And Master himself said, I'm tired of the old nags. I want warriors. I want racehorses. And so at this point, if you've been around for any length of time, stiffen your spine. Do more of the practice rather than less, and be honest with yourself. And get a spiritual bodyguard today. I would say get anybody you feel will really be honest with you and have them help you, because you can't go on alone on this path. There are many pitfalls. I know so many people who've fallen into them, and you're lucky if you can get out. So take it seriously. Go for God, but don't go on alone. That's why we have a Sangha. That's why we have Guru Bhais. That's why we have teachers. That's why we have spiritual directors. That's why we have Jyotishan Dev. That's why we have the gurus. Let them guide you out of delusion. For ourselves, we guide ourselves back in to delusion, or we keep ourselves at. But Guru and our masters are guiding us out. If you want out, stick with them, the path, the teachings, your Guru Bhais, the centers, the kirtans, everything we're doing. You want to be leading out of delusion. God bless you all. Have a nice day. Thank you.